Hello, this is Victor. I'm continuing here with the paint work on the Scourge, and now I will start the work on the armor plates. And the armor plates, as you have seen here, are going to be red with the vest on black. So I will do the main body and the red of the armor plates. As I explained before, the head will be done separately, and as well the weapons. So to do the armor plates, the first thing I do, I will apply dark red, and I will apply scab red in that case. This is quite a dark one. So this is quite straightforward. I thin the paint. We'll do just this leg, and then you can imagine that the rest of the miniature is done in the same way. So you just paint armor plate by armor plate, trying to leave the separation between the armor plates in black. In that way I will only lie up, and I will avoid to do washes to keep the red really clean. So I want because my objective here is that I want this looking like an alien material that is clean. It's looking like a synthetic material, and this is why I'm just lighting up. Can take a little bit of time, but I think it's worth it to do it in that way. You can see I just going armor plate by armor plate, painting and leaving the separation between the armor plates in black. So you see here I did the right leg. I will do the same. I will keep painting all the armor plates on the torso and also the ones on the wings. So I will tune back once I paint all the armor plates, because the next is just repetition of the same. Just paint armor plate by armor plate with thinned paint. Okay, this is how it's looking like once most of the armor plates are painted. But I wanted to share with you how to do this part here between the wings. Here we have a lot of small armor plates, and it's quite a hidden area and difficult to reach. So what I will do here, I will take a bigger brush that is a little bit damaged, and I will do a little bit and I will just very gentle pass over the plates, so in the way that it's like almost a dry brush, trying to keep the texture of the armor plates. So it's quite difficult to show this in the video because it's quite a hidden part, but just try very soft, try to apply this on these armor plates. So here you apply it, I don't know, since you have the right color. Here we are. So you see, I paint the plates, keeping the texture, keeping the spaces within the plates. So this is how it's looking like once the armor plates are painted. So the next step will be to do the first highlight on the black. I will do first the highlights on the black because they're hidden, and then I will do the highlights on the red. So to do the first highlights on the black, I will start with a very dark gray. I will start with Ashen gray. It's quite dark. It's going to be very soft at the beginning, and yeah, it's quite also doing the black is a question of layering up to very light gray. So I will start, for example, doing this here on the leg, and this is one of the most difficult parts to do. So normally I use the light I have to know where I have to highlight when it's very rounded. So for example, here we have the muzzle. I will highlight here around the muzzle. On the leg, I will do just following the shape of the leg. I'll align like that. Then I will put a little bit at the bottom. I will also highlight the feet, the foot. Will surround it. I will follow the edge of the shoe. We have to remember that this guy is flying. Maybe the shoes are clean. So, and here the bell, need to check because I want to keep also. So what I do is I keep the bell in black. So I will just highlight it with the light gray to keep the detail. But I will first paint the full bell on this dark gray. Then we have these things here on top of the armor plates. I will follow the different wrinkles. See that these have like some wrinkles. I will follow the wrinkles. Also this one here. I will do the same in that one. So if you follow this wrinkle. Sorry, I just ran out of battery and I plug the camera to keep the work. So what I will do, as you see, I will highlight the area that I think will capture the light or will capture some reflections. Okay. For example, here to have some contrast with, here it's going to be green later on. So, and it's going to be metal, so I don't need to paint here. This is why I need the other model to be sure that I follow the same color to keep the same coherency on the unit. So here on the leg I will keep the muzzles, so I will follow here and I will do this muzzle, and then I will follow also this one. You see this gray is not, it's very dark, so it's a very good step when you start doing the highlights. And the other technique I use is I start from the center where I want to have the highlight, as you can see, and then I do very fast strokes up and down, so the way that is fading out the color that I'm applying. So here I will keep all this part in that way, so that way I can show the muscles on the leg. Here this type of tubes or things that I have, I will keep them on dark. I don't want to put too many details in green. These things are going to be green, so I want to keep them like that, and these tubes are going to be green as well, so I will do them later on. So this can be quite enough for this first highlight. I have to do the fit here. That way I will and then on the front of the leg I will just put here in the middle a little bit. Okay, at the same time, now that I'm doing the black, I will do the arms. The arms I consider that is wearing like a special type of textile that is adjusted to the body. So to help me, I keep them together to avoid that I lose them. But now, to facilitate the painting, what I do a lot of times is I cut the sprue, keeping part of the piece connected to the sprue. The way, the best part to keep connected is this part, because later on is going to be glued on the main body. So here, what I will do on the arms, I will go muzzle by muzzle and I will highlight each muzzle in the way that you show all the different musculature on the arm. So you see, I hope you can see, sorry, I'm putting my hand on front. Need to work on better configuration of the camera. But what I try to do is, and this gray is very soft at the beginning, so you will need to do 2 more highlights on the black. But this first one is just marking where I want to do the highlights. Here, all this musculature I want to highlight. I have to say, painting black can be one, or highlighting black is one, sometimes some of the most difficult things to do. Because you don't have inks, or you don't have shade, you cannot shade the black. So you have to work with the grays or with the blues. In that case I prefer to work with the grays, because I think it's combining better with the red I'm doing on the rest of the armor plates. In other cases you can do blue if you're looking for a cooler shading. So, and here the fingers, I will paint each finger on gray. The easy way when you have this type of texture is you put your brush flat, then you pass over flat. It will help to show all the texture, and then it's going to be easier later on when you want to highlight. You see, sometimes I just do like a dark brush. I pass the brush very gentle on top of the part that I want to paint. We will do the same on the other arm, but I think you get the idea. We will do the same on the arm, and I will leave the weapon to be done later because I want to show you how to do the weapon. To do this part, I will remove it from this part of the sprue, and I will keep just attach it to here. So I will be back once I have to do the next layer. So once the first highlight is done on the black, see here also in the arm, it's quite soft at this moment. I will pass to do a second highlight, and this time I will use downstone. So it's lighter gray than before, and what I will do is I will highlight leaving the surroundings with the previous color. For example, here in the leg, I will highlight leaving on the middle of where I highlight before, so the way that there is a transition of colors. where there is only a line, I will do a second line just on top of the previous one. But when I highlight an area, I will see, and I apply similar technique than before. I do very soft strokes up and down, trying to make the paint to fade out on the moss. So here I will follow the line. So as you see on the black, you start seeing the highlights. So I will do the same here in the muzzle. So I think this is enough to show the idea. So I do a second highlight, leaving the previous one visible. So for example, here on the foot, I will just do the edge of the shoe. So you see the legs here I highlighted. I will repeat same operation on all the black parts, and I will be back once this is done. Once I finalize the highlights with downstone, see, this is the second, though the detail on the black is much visible. So here on the arms, musculature is there's to be visible here. So now I will go for a third highlight on black. This is going to be administration gray. This gray is very light, and you have to apply it carefully. If not, it will be too visible. Normally I only apply where I want the higher highlights. For example, this things that looks like a reflection, I will do very soft touch, very diluted, just to give very soft, and it will work more as a reflection than as a highlight. So you try to simulate like a reflection of the light, or so it's like here I want to make more visible the shape of the light. I just do very soft touch. The edges, don't do all the edges, do only, makes more sense, the top of the edge of the shoe, and here I will do just like that. Then when we have this type of folds on the miniature, I will start from the, I will not do the full, so here, and not all the folds, just the biggest one. So you have to apply it carefully, only where you think makes sense to make it. And here on these tubes, I will just put very soft touch. If you feel that you have put too much of this one, the way to correct a little bit is to use Nun oil or any other black wash and you put it in on top as a glaze, and then this will reduce the contrast. Normally black, I think, makes more sense doing this type of high contrast highlights. So as you see here, I try to go muzzle by muzzle. Keep always your brush wet. The hands, as you see, I did with the previous layer all the fingers. Now I will just do this part of the hand. This should be enough. This part I don't have to pay a lot of attention because it's going to be covered by the sharpening later on. And here I will do the folds of the glove. As you see, I'm not doing the weapon at this moment. I will do the weapon later on. And here the one that you should do is this one that is a big, and then the elbow, and I will do a little bit on the top. So this is going to be all the highlights, and now the black for me is done, and I will start working on the red. So this is how it's looking like now. Have to be careful because with this bright light the highlights looks much aggressive than it's in reality, but it's better to show what I'm trying to share here. Okay, so now we will go to the red. So to do the red, I will now use Mephiston red. Okay, and I will do H highlights on the armor plates. What that means is I will go plate by plate, and I will go to the edge, and I will follow the edge with the brush. As you see here. Then I wet a little bit, I thin the paint. You can do this if you want to make the transition. I'm going to be a little bit thick on the edge. So you can imagine I will do this in all the armor plates. Then here on the front, on this, and the protection of the knee. So this is, here you have the comparison between one leg and the other, so it's much more liveful. I will do this on all the armor plates, and I will be back when I have done this. The highlights on the red are almost done, but I left two parts that I want to do on camera. One is this back. I want to do this because it's quite, I will use different technique here. What I take is, take some paint, I take them out a little bit, and then it's like a dry brush, but it's not really a dry brush because it's with much more paint than dry brush, and you apply it here. Then on the breast, what I will do is you apply, in that case, in that part of the breast, and again I apply more heavily on the top part than on the bottom, and then you arrive to this type of effect. And then we let it dry. Here that I put a little bit of paint out of the part, I will correct this one with some black. It's very easy to make some mistakes when you do this type of highlights, so if you do a mistake, don't worry, and then later on you can correct it. It's always no issue. So once I finalize with Mephiston red, what is going to be my next step is to use this one, Wild Rider red. They call it red, but it's most orange than red. And this one is going to be, I want to do only highlights on some parts. So I will not highlight all the armor plates. For example, here I will highlight the armor plate on the knee and just on the top. So something like that. Don't need to apply on all the plates. I recommend only, is like the very lightweight on the black, just in the parts that you consider that should be more highlighted. For example, I will put a little bit on the breast, very soft touch. And on the wings I will do these things. Here and then what I can do on these armor plates, I can also do, so you don't need to do the full tag. I do normally the corners, and here I will do on the wings of the armor plate, I will do just so you see that now the armor is much more liveful. Here on I do the same here on the just on this armor bars, and then I will do the same on that leg to be consistent. So just these corners. And here the same. So the top border, and here you see I only do in the parts that are more parts that are more superficial or that have some like finishing on angle. What is important is that you have to be consistent. If you do highlights in some parts on the armor plate, try to do it the same type of highlight on all the parts that are similar. Here, the bottom part. And that will conclude the work on the armor plates and on the black. So next step I will do are going to be the wings, and then later on we can jump into the head. So this is how it looks like if you want to compare with the other one. So now the armor plates have the same type of highlights. So we are ready to start doing the wings, to have this finishing here, to take this texture. So in the next video I will share how to get this texture on black wings. So that's all what I want to share in the video. Is this part 2. I'm focused on the armor plate, on the main cloth, and be ready for the third part, that will be the wings. So thanks a lot for watching this video, and see you again later. Bye.